This is the Cubs POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Locked On Cubs POSTCAST here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. My name is Joe George. You find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Joe George Radio. The Cubs win this game 7-6, and they have won the season series versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. We're going to talk about Crow-Armstrong, his performance in this game. We're going to talk about Dansby Swanson, what we saw from the pitching staff. Bunch of questions that hopefully Craig Counsell, as we're live, will kind of give updates on Ryan Pressly specifically, but some interesting decisions by Counsell in this one. And just a lot of good things, again, in this series. The Cubs offense continues to just be incredible. I mean, to think back to where we all started as Cubs fans, the first two games of the season overseas in Japan, 0-2, to come back, win a series 2 out of 3 games versus the Dodgers, and then now to sweep them in a 2-game series, to win this series 4-3 against the defending World Series champions. You shut down Shohei Ohtani. For the most part, you shut down Mookie Betts. You really shut down Freddie Freeman. They dominated the Dodgers. I mean, the offense was electric pretty much every single time they played them. And as this chat is saying, Greg here says PCA has arrived. And we're going to get right to it today because he is our Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
So Crow-Armstrong in this game, another 3-hit performance in this one. He has the single there at the end, but of course he had the 3-run home run in this game. 3 for 4, 4 RBIs, a home run. He got a stolen base. He's now in double-digit steals already on the season. We knew we know he's electric. We know that's a huge weapon for him, but to already be at double-digit steals, Crow-Armstrong is also, like Kyle Tucker, everything as advertised. I mean, what a trade that ends up looking like. I know people look back at the 2016 core and what you didn't get for him, but trading Javier Baez for Crow-Armstrong, I mean, this kid is phenomenal. He can catch everything in the outfield. He can steal a million bases. And the way he's hitting right now, it's so exciting. He is can't miss television when he's on the base pass, when he's in the batter's box, when the ball's in the area for him in center field. He's just bringing everything you can get and what you need for the Cubs. I mean, we talked about this yesterday on the POSTCAST show, mentioned this. If you look at WAR, Crow-Armstrong is one of the 6 best players in all of baseball right now. That's how good he's playing and continues to have performances like this. And look, this is a guy that you could see the frustration the last time they played LA before he took off with his family there, but he's throwing the bat. He's mad at himself because his timing was just off before that game on Sunday Night Baseball. But now he's just on a heater. He has the longest extra base hit game streak in all of baseball, and another 3-hit performance from him tonight. Just phenomenal game from Crow-Armstrong. But what impresses me the most about these 2 games is the resilience of the Chicago Cubs. To get down the way they have and to immediately respond is so phenomenal. It's so good to see an offense be that clutch. Yes, there's a lot of guys left on base. But you know what? To the people that are like, well, they're leaving all these guys in runners in scoring position. Well, when 100 guys are on base, it feels like in a game, guys are going to get left on base at some point. The fact that there's so many guys in runners in scoring position left out there and they're leading the league in runs scored shows you just how dynamic this offense has been. This is greater than I think any of us could have thought about how good this offense has been. And the production you got from guys like Dansby Swanson tonight, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, slowly creeping his batting average back to the Mendoza line, hitting 192 on the season. But again, if he can get going, it really elevates them to a whole other level, just to add, how deep this lineup can be if Dansby can be a productive at bat. My only pet peeve with this game, honestly, is why is Justin Turner batting behind Kyle Tucker? I know Suzuki was a last-minute scratch, and he's day-to-day. But, why does, I know, you don't want to change your lineup when guys are hurt, but can we just move everybody up a spot? Because no offense to Justin Turner, but you look slow. You'll look slow at this point. in the season, and it's not great out there. I would love to see him lower in the lineup. But we did see John Birdie play third base tonight. Tough night for him at the plate. 4 strikeouts, 4 at bats, 4 Ks. That's a tough. The golden sombrero in that one for him. But we saw the Cubs sign Nicky Lopez back to a 1-year deal today, so he might be very quickly your new third baseman for the Cubs as they await the return of Matt Shaw. So we'll see. Workman gone, Birdie in, at least for today. But the Cubs offense just continues to, just put up these performances time and time again. It's funny. It's I as a pessimist at times, I feel like I'm always scared of being too confident in a team's offensive abilities and that it's going to continue, but they just show no sign of slowing down because they're getting it from so many different guys. Like Kyle Tucker doesn't have a hit in this game, but he gets 2 walks. Like he's only not been on base 2 times this entire season so far. So he just continues to be an impact player for you. And then what Pete Crow-Armstrong's doing towards the bottom of the lineup with the guys in front of him just getting on, it's so clutch. And it's part of the reason why you don't need to move him up in the order because the guys in front of him are getting on, whether it's through walks or singles or whatever. And Pete is doing a good job of bringing those guys home, both him and Nico Horner so far. So the Cubs offense just continues to rake right now in an incredible fashion that feels unsustainable. But yes, it feels unsustainable, but they just keep going. They just keep going and getting this job done. And really, I don't think it yeah, I know like the Dodgers, some of the guys are slumping on the team, but the way they shut down Shohei Ohtani is, again, so impressive to see what they did against the best player on planet Earth against the Cubs this entire season series. They just did a great job. It didn't matter who was out there, whether it was Hodge there in the 9th inning, which we'll talk about more in the second segment of tonight's show, or your starters. Just continue to do a very fantastic job and 4-3 record against the Dodgers this year. And hopefully the Chicago Cubs will be seeing them in October. That's all we can hope for now, is that the Cubs will be there alongside the Dodgers, because I'm pretty confident the Dodgers will be there. But hopefully the Cubs will be as well. So awesome 2-game series sweep against what is supposed to be the best team in baseball. But the Cubs have the best offense in baseball, and that is a fact at this point in the season. All right, let's get to some other stuff with today's game. We'll talk about Matthew Boyd's his appearance. We'll see if Craig Counsell has any updates. I'll take a quick look at the Twitter machine and see if he's got any updates there on why Ryan Presley didn't pitch in tonight's game. But we'll have a discussion about Porter Hodge and what we saw from the last 2 games and why it's such a huge bonus for the Cubs and a positive regardless of what the status of Ryan Presley is. All next year on the Locked On Cubs postcast on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Today's show is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. And if you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always be talking to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Today's show also brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. If you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better-for-you unsaturated fats to help you keeping fuller longer. I go with the no-shell variety. That's always my go-to. I love having that in the house because, well, I don't want to be cracking shells for a 4-year-old all the time if he wants some pistachios. I want to have it nice and easy and ready to go without a mess. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. All right, Matthew Boyd in this game. Not his best stuff that we've seen this season. 6 innings pitched, 10 hits, 6 runs, 3 of them earned, a walk, 4 strikes, and 2 home runs. Now, that brings his ERA to this season to a 2.54. He has been a huge plus to the Cubs pitching staff so far this year, well past my expectations for what Matthew Boyd was going to be as a member of the Cubs. But what stands out to me the most about his performance today, and maybe this part goes into the Ryan Pressly conversation that we will be having here in just a second, but the fact that he went back out there for the 6th inning when he didn't have his best stuff, what it does mean to me is that Craig Counsell already and clearly has a level of trust within Matthew Boyd that he can go back out there and handle, the issues that he's been having in this game. And to be honest, I think he deserves it so far this season, and it's deserved. So that was interesting. That was one interesting note for me in this game. But then we get what happens after that. So Palencia comes in the 7th inning. Surprise. Don't think anyone expected to see that. We all expected to see Julian Merryweather. My first thought in my head is he down again? Like, we've already seen it once this season where he's been down without pitching in games. Is Merryweather down? But then we see Merryweather come out in the 8th. He gets 2 outs on 6 pitches. He battles through, and Palencia and Merryweather get through 2 innings, striking out 3 guys combined, and no damage allowed by either of those guys. So it gets you to the 9th inning where we're all expecting Ryan Pressly to come in. So as this is playing out, in my mind, I'm saying, okay, Porter Hodge pitched yesterday in a high-level, high-stress inning, not very long, obviously. He did a great job in the top of the 10th against the Dodgers. He's going to be off today. Here comes Ryan Pressly. And instead, here comes Porter Hodge. And Ryan Pressly is nowhere to be seen. And Porter Hodge strikes out Shohei Ohtani, and then he gets out Mookie Betts and Teoscar Hernandez, and he gets 3 up and 3 down with a strikeout there in the 9th to get his first save of the season. I have not seen anything officially. I'm going to type and talk at the same time here to see if Ryan Pressly was available or not in this game since we are live here. But let's talk about this just for a second as we try to find a real answer to why Ryan Pressly didn't. This is what, to me, the last 2 games is so exciting about the Cubs' future, because you do need a lockdown closer to be a legitimate World Series contender, whether it's now or in the future. And it feels like with Porter Hodge that they are getting that they are getting a guy that can go out there and just shove against any lineup in baseball. And that's what he did yesterday versus the Dodgers, with a man for man on second base, to get out of that without allowing any damage, and then to come in again against the best part of the lineup to face Shohei Ohtani, to strike him out, and to get the Cubs the victory, the series sweep, the season victories in the series. All of that was awesome to see from Porter Hodge. So what the positive is that it just adds to the confidence that he's the guy. This will also be a moment where, assuming Ryan Pressly will stay in that closer role going forward, this will be a moment, if Pressly struggles, that people will reference back on very fairly to why Porter Hodge should be the closer. It's why a lot of people think Porter Hodge should have just been the closer from the get-go, from what we saw at the end of last year and then what we saw so far this season. But nothing from Craig Counsell yet, so as we're live here, so we don't know what's going on exactly with Ryan Pressly. Matt and Sam, I'm sure, will have a better update as they do their show. But it still shows you the back end strength of what this bullpen, I think, still can be. Because Merryweather, I'm curious what people in the chat feel, and you guys can let me know your reaction at Joe George Radio. I think Merryweather is kind of also really climbing up that circle of trust in terms of the guys in the bullpen. That you can see that he goes out there and you feel good about him when he's on the mound. You feel good about him when he's out there. So Porter Hodge, Ryan Pressly, Julian Merryweather. Palencia is kind of a 50-50 guy for me. But like, I love seeing a guy just throw 101 miles an hour pitch after pitch. Like he throws the ball so fast and is just so much gas on his stuff that he's another guy I really like seeing out there a lot. So at least for 2 days, much better feeling about the Cubs bullpen situation, I would say. And again, the big picture of this month so far, as it's April 23rd right now, is that you've played the Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks multiple times. You have played the hardest schedule in baseball, and the Cubs have done a fantastic job against it. And to win, 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, and then to sweep the Dodgers in these 2 games, Next month, it's a lot easier. And, the biggest thing for the Cubs will be just continue to, pound the Marlins and the White Sox. When you play them, 9 times in 9 days or whatever it is, and 9 times in 10 days, the Marlins and the White Sox, you got to win 8 of those 9 games. Like, that's what the next month of the season should look like. And this month is just about continuing the success that you've had, because now you go to face one of the better teams in the National League. You're going to play the Philadelphia Phillies starting on Friday and ending on Sunday Night Baseball. If you look at the matchups right now, Colin Ray, Ben Brown, Jameson Taillon will be going for the Cubs projected right now. Obviously, that can always change, but that's the expected pitchers for the next 3-game series against the Phillies. So want to see the Cubs get another one there, just another series victory against a really, really good baseball team would be awesome thing to see. All right, let's get to our turning point of today's game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
So if I'm going to look at one specific moment to where the Cubs won this game, yes, Pete Crow-Armstrong did a lot of phenomenal things. He was very rightfully so our player of the game. But for me, the turning point of this game, we're going to go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Back-to-back walks. Then you get the double steal. So you got runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Michael Busch walks. You get the bases loaded. And then here comes Dansby Swanson. He gets the 2 RBI double. It's 5-5, 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. And then Nico Hoerner, sac fly, Pete Crow-Armstrong drives in Dansby Swanson. And all of a sudden, it's a 5-3 game. And by the end of the inning, it's a 7-5 baseball game. So I'll give Dansby Swanson as the lead guy for the turning point of today's victory for the Chicago Cubs. And before we wrap up, we'll also get to what you'll be talking about after this game.
This is what you'll be talking about.
A couple things you'll be talking about from this game. We'll actually take a question here from Ramon, because I just want to talk about it here for a second as well. But the biggest thing I think we'll be talking about after this game, I think Cubs fans are going to start talking about that World Series words, that this is a World Series, a deep playoff contending team. That's what people are going to be talking about. That's how we should be feeling right now. Yes, there's a long, long way to go for the Cubs to actually get there. There's a lot of injuries you got to battle through. You got to probably get another starting pitcher. But that is what we will be looking forward to right now. And I think that's the vibe for Cubs fans right now. We'll continue talking about third base as we saw Birdie strike out 4 times. But the other thing, just very, very quickly, that we have to talk about, because I could not believe this. And this is a good question for Ramon here in the chat. He says, Joe, couldn't the Cubs challenge Rojas blocking third base from Brujan? There's 2 parts to this. One, I don't remember if they still had a challenge. Also, I don't think you can. That was a crazy bad call. Like, I was fully prepared to do this show for 15 to 20 minutes tonight about how the Cubs would have got screwed if they would have not scored there like they didn't. And eventually that inning would have turned into a disaster. That was an unbelievably bad call. That is like the definition 101 of blocking the base. I cannot believe that they did not, overturn that call. So Craig Counsell was so upset in the moment that I think that's why it's very clear they couldn't challenge it. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've read, every single rule in Major League Baseball about what can and can't be challenged. So I'm assuming because they were so upset that they couldn't challenge it for whatever reason. And that's why. But yes, I also agree with Darren here that Craig Counsell should have been out of there. Yeah, that would have been a nice little moment to see. Craig Counsell get thrown out of the game there if he wanted to. But he does a good job dealing without Ryan Presley, it seems. Chat is saying this is chat's fault. This is wrong, not mine. Chat's saying it's a knee thing, could be available Friday for Ryan Presley. But Porter Hodge was sick. Pete Crow-Armstrong continues to be a phenomenal baseball player for the Chicago Cubs. Can't miss television. Also, probably going to go up pretty high up the jersey buying charts, I would think. I think that's going to be a top 1 for Cubs fans, because we're not so sure about Kyle Tucker's future, but we know about Pete Crow-Armstrong's future. I think he's going to be a guy that's flying up the jersey sale charts here very quickly for Cubs fans, if he hasn't already. All right, that will do it for us. So we'll be off tomorrow. Obviously, Cubs are off. We'll be back here on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be live after every single one of the Phillies games. We're live after pretty much every single Cubs game. So thanks for watching. We'll talk to you on Friday after they play the Phillies.